PlayStation 1. It all began when Sony and Nintendo attempted to co-develop a console with a CD ROM drive, but at the last minute Nintendo pulled out of the deal. Infuriated, Sony engineer Ken Kutaragi convinced management to create their own console, and so, in 1994, the PlayStation 1 was born. Its main advantage was the transition from expensive cartridges to cheap CDs, which allowed developers to add cinematic FMVs and high-quality music to games. Thanks to hits like Tekken 3, Crash Bandicoot, and Metal Gear Solid, the console became the first in history to sell over 100 million units. Interestingly, the original controller had no analog sticks. They were added later to compete with the Nintendo 64. PlayStation 2. Released in 2000, the PlayStation 2 still holds the title of the best-selling console of all time. Ken Kutaragi equipped it with the Emotion Engine processor, but the real cheat code was the built-in DVD player. At the time, the PS2 was cheaper than most standalone DVD players, so people bought it to watch movies and ended up becoming gamers. The console gave us masterpieces like GTA, San Andreas, and God of War. A mind-blowing fact: the PS2 library features nearly 4,000 titles, and the console remained in production until 2013, ending just a few months before the PS4 launch. PlayStation 3. The launch of the PlayStation 3 in 2006 was Sony's toughest challenge due to its staggering $600 price tag. Inside was the unique and incredibly complex Cell processor, which was so powerful that the U.S. Air Force once connected hundreds of PS3s to create a supercomputer for processing satellite imagery. Its main advantage was the Blu-ray format, allowing games to take up dozens of gigabytes, along with the free PSN online service. Despite a rocky start, exclusives like The Last of Us and Uncharted saved the day. Few know that early PS3 models contained actual PS2 hardware inside for backward compatibility, though this was later removed to cut costs. PlayStation 4. With the release of the PlayStation 4, in 2013, Sony went back to basics by making the architecture as close to a standard PC as possible. This allowed developers to release higher quality games much faster. The console featured the new DualShock 4 controller with a touchpad and a share button, which changed the industry by allowing instant gameplay sharing. Games like Bloodborne, God of War, 2018, and Ghost of Tsushima made the PS4 the absolute leader of its generation. Fun fact: the original PS4 was specifically designed in a parallelogram shape to look sleek and modern even when placed horizontally. PlayStation 5. The modern era began in 2020 with the PlayStation 5. Its primary killer feature is the ultra-high-speed SSD, which virtually eliminated loading screens. Along with the console, Sony introduced the DualSense controller with adaptive triggers that can resist your finger's pressure, mimicking the tension of a bowstring or a brake pedal. The console supports ray tracing and 4K resolution, while its futuristic design is the largest in the history of home consoles. Interestingly, the body and controller of the PS5 are covered in thousands of microscopic cross, circle, square, and triangle symbols, which act as an anti-slip texture.